Then I was pushed to shift myself to the blue one. That okay, fine, 7 साल 8 साल से काम कर रहे हैं, consistent पैसा बना रहा है, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. तो exponential growth कब आएगा? Next level पे कब जाएंगे? So that was the blue line. And today's world, when the cheapest thing in this today's world is money, everyone is talking about the J curve, right? Which is the green color. This is Zerodha. You guys know Zerodha? Can you see the growth? Can you see similarity? The green color? ये हमको क्या बोलता है? Zerodha, यहाँ FY14 है, but Zerodha started in 2009. I know Nitin Kamath personally. He started in 2009 and it took him almost 8 years to reach a point which is now he has seen the J curve growth. And the growth did not happen just because he was there. Growth happened because the Kainat helped him to grow. And what was the Kainat? What happened in 2018 November? What happened in 2018 November? Demonetization. He was ready with eKYC. At the moment it happened, he was the first broker who got massive growth because everyone else was struggling with that eKYC. And then COVID happened. He was ready with his infrastructure. This is StockEdge. Still not J, but we are almost there for a big breakout. And it took us almost 8 years to reach where we have reached. और अभी तक हमारी कायनात तैयार नहीं हुई थी, अब तैयार हो गई है, right? So 3 pillars that cash flow based generating business. For me, these are 3 most critical things. One is vision. Vision. Ultimately, the entrepreneur has to have the vision and the conviction of that vision कि बॉस ये चलेगा ही, ये होगा ही, because macros ऐसे हैं इंडिया में कि ये चलना ही है. When you talk to Nitin, he knew that this is going to happen. It was a matter of time. When I am running StockEdge, elearnmarkets, I know कि ये need है, जो कभी न कभी उभर आएगी. The second is survival, because that 7-8 years of pain, it's a real pain. And I heard someone talking about hair loss. Here I am, one more. So real pain of being an internet entrepreneur, which I've experienced in last 7 years. So that survival instinct is the most important. And finally, what I've realized that the trust on your product, which you build, and the customer who stays with you because of the trust. So every entrepreneur should only focus on the word trust. अगर मैंने अपने इकोसिस्टम में ट्रस्ट डाल दिया, अपने एम्प्लॉय को मैंने स्टेक होल्डर पे ट्रस्ट दे दिया, अगर मैंने अपने कस्टमर को ट्रस्ट दे दिया, तो माई कायनात will be there to support me for my next level growth. So the presentation is how to create a profitable cash flow consumer internet business. How many of you are there in consumer internet business? Okay, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. How many of you are there in B2B business here? And what are other people doing? Are you there in the physical consumer business or the service business? Okay, sure. So one thing for sure I'm telling you that this is not only relevant for consumer internet business. Even if you are in service business or B2B business, what we have done, you have to follow that. Because we are living in a very different world. Post-COVID is a different world we all are living in. And we have to accept that reality. So, whenever we talk about the secret sauce, there are 2 perspectives. One is from the business side and the other is from the personality side. So, every business has a personality. And you guys are entrepreneurs, you know that you are one personality, but your business is another personality. So when I am talking to my business, I'm talking to a personality. When we are discussing internally with our team member, we always have one chair, which is our business, which is the personality. And we talk to that business. Until as you realize that you are different from your business, you are a different personality. Yes, your business will get influenced by your personality, but finally you want that business to have a unique identity beyond you. So the personality is defined by opportunity, the audience you are catering to, The people you are working with, that's I think the ultimate. And finally the product which will lead to trust among your customers. So, जैसा ही लोग कहते हैं ना कि luck only favors the people who help themselves. So, कायनात will only favor people who help themselves. And when you are talking about helping yourself, you're talking about what's your edge. How many of you know your edge? Raise your hand very confidently. How many of you know your edge? See, only 5%? 95% of us don't know our edge. This is the first question you have to go back and ask yourself कि मेरा edge क्या है? चाहे मेरा customer मेरे पास आएगा, forget about customer, कोई employee मेरे को join करेगा, क्यों करेगा? Customer तो बहुत दूर की बात है. अभी तो challenge ये है कि employee अच्छे retain करना और अच्छे लोगों को pull करना is the biggest challenge an entrepreneur is facing. And an employee will not come to an ordinary person. Every employee these days want to work with a ideal, with a personality, with a persona. So you have to figure out what is your edge. Second, what kind of opportunity you see. But I've given presentations to a couple of VCs and I've sat on a number of presentations that finally is the size of the opportunity that matter. And perseverance, as I said, that it's a lonely world. At times you do feel lonely when you wake up at 2 o'clock and then you ask your question कि मैंने गलत क्या किया. So that's the kind of, because internet is huge. Internet is like unlimited opportunities, but that with unlimited opportunities, you get to see unlimited threats as well. Because कहीं भी कोई भी कुछ भी कर सकता है internet में और आपका business को question कर सकता है. That's the kind of uncertainty we live when you are doing internet services. And people finally, how do you get good people? How do I get good people? I've been very lucky that I got right partners at the right time. How do you get good people? Only through network. कोई भी placement agency, and I'm sure some of you would be providing that service, none of the placement agency can give you good people. The good people in your organization, and आप देखो अपने organization में, just go and check the list of people who are still with you and who have been a performer with you. Most of them guys would be either through references or your own network. And your network is not just physical network, the virtual network, which is far more bigger than the physical network. So your network is truly your net worth in terms of recruiting, in terms of business opportunities. So network accessibility, limitless thinking, and I truly mean this, limitless thinking and constantly challenging yourself to adapt to the new norm. I was a very introvert person. I started my career as an analyst. I'm still standing here and talking is something which I can't think. My mind is saying, ये तुम है जो बोल रहा है. I was an introvert person. I started my career as an analyst. I wanted to become a trader. I started in 2013 because trading is a lovely occupation for an introvert. क्योंकि दुनिया से बात ही नहीं करना है, खाली स्क्रीन से सामने बात करना है. But then I realized if I have to create internet business, I cannot be introvert. I have to open up. I have to connect with everyone who is there on internet. And that's what changed me. So your adaptability to limitless thinking is important for an internet world. And the most critical is leadership. And I say this with a lot of conviction that please do not get into the trap of identifying only top 2-3 leaders. Don't get into this trap. Every employee of a company should have leadership potential. Even the peon who you are recruiting, you have to make sure that उसमें leadership potential होना चाहिए. Because finally, अगर leadership traits नहीं है, हो सकता है उसमें से 10 में से 7 लोग चले जाएंगे. But जो 3 लोग leader आपके पास रह जाएंगे, they can do wonderful work. I have a lot of case studies in my company who started with 10,000 rupees month salary, and today they are drawing 22 lakh because they had leadership skills. So I don't look at leaders on the top only. Every recruitment should have this compulsory trait कि तुम leader बन सकता है क्या, right? And as they say that, customer is your biggest investor. We all are craving to get heavy names in our cap table. But for me, the most important person is your customer. And the money which your customer will give is a long term. And they will not ask for an exit, right? Rather, you don't want them to exit. So the focus on customer is so important. Uh, change agent. This is very important. So, based on my limited experience of 17 years in working, I've seen the world dynamics is changing every 4 to 5 years. And there are agents who change these dynamics. Let's take an example of social media influencer. Now, where is this concept came from? Someone would have tried this. Maybe 4, 5, 6 people would have tried this and it worked. And then other people started looking at them and kept on working on it. So there are change agents. You have to identify who are the change agents. Are you getting this point? Yeah, it's not easy to know. I mean, you may say that Ankur Warikoo is a change agent, but Ankur Warikoo is not made as an original Ankur Warikoo. He probably would have got influenced by someone else somewhere. It's our role as an entrepreneur to find out who is the change agent and can we, in some form, get inspired from that person. CAC. So, Abhishek, we talked in the morning, talked about CAC, cost of acquiring a customer, which is the most important thing for an internet business because you know what is happening in the world right now? So, you're pumping a lot of money to Googles and Facebooks of the world, and then eventually you are raising money from VCs. And if you see the whole ecosystem, finally Google and Facebook or Apple, they are probably the LC in one of those VCs. तो हो क्या रहा है? पैसा VCs दे रहे, finally Google, Facebook को जा रहा है और फिर उन्हीं का पैसा घूम के आ रहा है. This is what is happening in the world. And in this process, sure, a lot of people have made a lot of wealth, but then finally as someone like me who want a unit economics to be 100% clear, CAC is the most important thing which any internet business needs. So that CAC and the perfect funnel. Perfect funnel, typically free guys, then users, register users, then paid users. This is a classic funnel building activity, but funnel is changing. Every 3 years, new platform is emerging, which is giving you that funnel ability. For example, YouTube was huge 7 years ago. Today, Instagram is huge. Maybe next 3 years, henceforth, you will see some other platform becoming huge. So adaptability to all these new platforms is important if you are doing an internet-based business. I hope I'm not scaring you guys. It's a great business to do because internet business gives you unlimited possibilities. But yes, there are certain do's and don'ts one has to follow. So product is finally a derivative of trust. The product ecosystem. Now, what I've realized, a single product company, it's difficult to survive in an internet world. It's difficult. People do survive. So in B2B, single product company does very well. But in B2C, one has to create an ecosystem. So talk about Zoho. Talk about Zerodha. Zerodha is a single product, but they have created ecosystem like Sensible, Small Case. And you see many such examples. The mother of all example is Google. From search engine, they are complete ecosystem now. So for us, if we are thinking of internet business, we have to think about ecosystem. Second, unfair advantage. So I read in an article a couple of years ago that agar aap bootstrap entrepreneur hai and you want it to be that way, at least for some time, then you have to have some unfair advantage. So there is a concept of moat, which is widely popularized by Warren Buffett, right? Moat, you guys understand moat? Yeah. So I say now moat has become unfair advantage. कि आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है जो उसके पास है ही नहीं. जैसे StockEdge, elearnmarkets में today Vivek Bajaj is there, which is like I'm the one, right? If you have to talk to me, if you have to consume my services, you have to come to me. Or Tesla में Elon Musk है, right? So individual becomes quite big as an unfair advantage. That may not be the right thing, wrong thing for you. Maybe you'll have to figure out some other unfair advantage which you have. And lastly, the unit economics. That एकदम वो जो होता है ना कि you should have that father who should tell you every day कि आज कमाया है क्या, right? My father keeps on asking me this question कि ये StockEdge में तुम पैसा बनाता है क्या, तुम कर क्यों रहा है? Now, how do I explain this to him that user acquisition and then finally they will pay me and all those things? No. And I like him asking me this question because then I am connected to the real world as well. So survival kit for an internet entrepreneur is extremely crucial. So evolve, upgrade and conquer. If you don't upgrade, this world is very ruthless for people who are out of sight, out of mind, and you may be kicked out. Your product may be kicked out of the system. So what is the unfair advantage I created? So as an introvert, it was important for me to become an extrovert, start facing camera, and obviously my MBA qualification helped me in doing that, and then start creating an identity on internet world. And I was good in identifying opportunities, so I got hold of two platforms, YouTube and Twitter. Twitter is a great platform because that helps you to connect with anyone in the world. And it's such an advantage which you have. I'm recording some great videos with amazing people from US. Thanks to Twitter, I was able to connect with them. So now I don't need XYZ to connect me to anyone. If that person is there on Twitter, I can go and talk to that person directly. And YouTube has taken us to Bharat. The way YouTube has penetrated in last 4 years, अगर आप एक्चुअल में इंडिया का ग्रोथ देखना चाहते हैं तो आप भारत में जाइए, रियल ग्रोथ वहीं हो रहा है. और YouTube, TikTok and other platform, now TikTok is obviously not there, Instagram, other platform, they have reached there. So you have to use those platforms which is taking you to the real place where the growth is happening in India. So I started recording videos. I've recorded 160 videos in elearnmarkets YouTube channel. And really nice content, some great people have given me. Then I started my own personal YouTube channel, and there was a reason for me to do that this new world needs individual identity behind a product. And I loved, someone in the morning said that video record करना चालू कर दो बस. ये मत सोचो कि क्या होगा, कैसा होगा, क्योंकि चालू वैसे ही किए थे फोन में ऐसे करके. One of the biggest YouTubers in India is Bhuvan Bam, who just uses his phone and records all the kind of videos, and look at the money he's making. Well, the question is not, do we become an influencer? I'm not an influencer. But as an entrepreneur, my company is a personality which needs me to do all these things. So I have to do it. But after a point of time, I'll move out. And I will create StockEdge brand itself so big that probably that brand may not need me the way it is needing me right now. So ecosystem, that is what we got hold of, and we created an ecosystem. So this is the roadmap of a retail investor. So when an investor comes, the investor wants to learn. So we launch elearnmarkets. Then the investor wants to analyze. Access of data is important. There is Bloomberg, which is a lakh of rupee per month. A normal investor cannot afford. Sure, StockEdge, 3,000 rupees a year. You get access to all the data points you need for understanding of market. Then you need to collaborate with like-minded people. So StockEdge Social is there. And finally, the D2C platform, which helps people to transact with their respective broker. Not that I'm trying to market my product, but I'm saying that the thought process of ecosystem, that figure out कि ये पूरा ecosystem में gap कहाँ है, and then start plugging in those gaps. And we have been able to do it organically. But yes, there are these days some really good investors who can support you in this journey of building an ecosystem. So the new world order, as I said, was social media. So we have almost 1.5 million subscribers, almost 100 million views in our channel. And we are doing some decent work. There is lots of scope. India has just started with financial inclusion. बहुत बड़ा population है. अभी डीमैट सिर्फ 9 करोड़ है. यहाँ से 15 करोड़ होने वाले हैं. और उसके बाद बैंक अकाउंट कितने हैं? तो डीमैट तो होगा ही. So it's just the starting of that journey of financial inclusion in India, and we are pretty much ready. That's why we said that we are at the crux of that J-curve growth. If we do things rightly, then we'll probably become the next good thing in markets. So the path to J-curve, it took us almost 7 to 8 years to reach here. 4 million plus users in our platforms, mostly organically. We had to give money to Googles and Facebooks of the world to acquire users. That's why our CAC is very low, and our contribution margin. So typical first transaction revenue divided by CAC is more than 1. That means if a client is transacting first, we make money. उसके बाद अगर वो कर दिया तो वो मेरे लिए लॉटरी है, लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू में ऐड होता है. So that is helping us to remain profitable. We did tried a lot of things last year because we got money from Kotak. They invested, they took 10% stake in our company. तो बैंक में पैसे आते हैं तो सबके मन में लड्डू फूट पड़ता है कि डालो, अब पैसा डालो. So finally, we realized that giving money to Facebooks and Googles of the world, it's not great for an entrepreneur like us who want to build a long-term business ecosystem. So we reached 100 million views, and we are currently doing ARR of around $3 million, and hoping from now on, we should grow very aggressively. Thank you. This is it from my side.